Saturday night. Swing it. Harris. Oh, whoa. Ankle breaker.
No matter how strong, talented, and smart professional athletes can be, they too make mistakes. This is the same for every sportsman, and yes, even those superstars in the NBA. So, because of this today, we're going to take a look at some of the most embarrassing moments of NBA's greatest players. But before that, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We'll be giving away either an iPhone X Max, a new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's all your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. First on our list is the time when Golden State Warrior three-point sensation Stephen Curry made an air ball after breaking his own ankle. This was the anticlimactic ending of what could have been a perfect fast break for the Warriors in the third quarter of their game against the Lakers. The Warriors were actually winning, but Stephen Curry wasn't too comfortable with their lead, so he launched into one of his own signature steals, breaking towards the other side of the empty court to shoot a basket. But we all know how he went down and slipped. Curry's teammates was there to try and save him from the mess he created, but his shot was still too far away from the basket and came up short. Next, we take a look at when James Harden received a solid uppercut from the ball, courtesy of himself. This happened after the referee called him out for a violation, as the Beard was locked in a one-on-one battle with Josh Hart, who was working solid defense. Harden was so angry that he slammed the ball on the court that only resulted in hurting himself. He might have forgotten that balls bounce or something, and the harder they dribble, the stronger the return. Good thing he had his infamous beard that he claims to have cushioned the impact. Next, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo's late entry to April Fools. All eyes were on the rising NBA superstar when he stole the ball from Marvin Williams in the Bucks game against the Hornets. Although instead of making another highlight dunk, we saw the Greek Freak's ball bounce off the top of the ring. Maybe he was just too tired to dunk. Who knows? We've seen some pretty bad flops in the NBA, but Bradley Beal's flop is automatically one of the best, if not the best, for taking things to a whole new level. Obviously, Beal needed to go the distance to sell his flop in a desperate attempt to fish an offensive foul from Celtics player Al Horford. He succeeded in getting a foul from Horford given his overdramatic performance, and he also had the gall to celebrate his win soon after the incident. He might have managed to get away with this in the game, but we all know he will forever be remembered as this kind of player. Here's another entry to the most embarrassing NBA moments, care of GSW's forward Steph Curry. But this time, it is a redemption arc at the expense of Rudy Gobert. Curry got his gears all revved up in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals against the Jazz, and poor old Rudy couldn't quite catch his rhythm until Curry swooped in for the kill. Props to Gobert for trying so hard though. Next, can you believe that almost 7-footer Anthony Davis could get bullied on the court? It sounds impossible, I know, but not quite. After all, if you're in the NBA, you're likely to run into a few other giants. One such giant is LA's Clippers center, Boban Marjanovic, who stands at a whopping 7'3". He is 4 inches taller than Davis, and Boban made Anthony feel like a shrimp as he effortlessly kept the ball out of Anthony's reach no matter what he did. Davis swings at the ball helplessly. We can hear him almost say, "Give me back my ball, Boban." It was all fun and games for the two players, as Davis can be seen laughing along with Boban after failing to swat the ball away twice. Up next, for some reason, Steph Curry seems to be the MVP of this list, and this time he caused embarrassment to his own teammate, Klay Thompson. If you can see the ball at the hands of an excellent three-point shooter like Curry, you'd probably make the same mistake that Thompson did. He felt so sure that Curry would sink the ball that he didn't even look at the ball again. But for some reason, Curry decided to make an extra pass to poor old Klay. This moment was definitely an embarrassing moment that would play on the highlight reel. Next up is the one-time Joe Embiid striked out at a basketball game. Now by that I mean he missed 3 dunks in one game. This upsetting play was so bad that it became one of the most controversial foot moments of the NBA. Lucky for Joe, he wasn't kicked out of the 76ers though. Next spot is to Paul George's unceremonious send-off for hitting a fan in the face. This all transpired in 2016 in the third frame of the Indiana Pacers win over the Chicago Bulls 111-94. The incident happened after Bulls star Jimmy Butler drove a hoop against George, who knocked the ball out of bounds and was called a foul. Instead of getting a hold of himself, George tried to release some tension by kicking the ball away, which unfortunately landed straight in the face of his fan. The refs obviously weren't content with Paul rushing up to a fan to say sorry, as he was then forced off the court only minutes later. Next on the list is Kyrie Irving's mistake that changes the definition of Kyrie-ridiculous altogether. What he did was so hilarious that it made both his teammates and his opponents laugh out loud. To put it simply, Kyrie did what Kyrie does best, his flawless finger roll, but this time it was more of a roll and less of a shot since he completely missed the basket after his shot went straight to the top of the board. I mean, seriously, Kyrie, what were you thinking? Moving on, Damian Lillard also makes his contribution to the basketball lingo after changing the meaning of garbage time. It's practically one of the best feelings in the world for basketball players in possession of the ball while your lead is so far off that your opponent could do anything to change your inevitable victory. This was probably running on the mind of Damian Lillard as the ball slips out of his hands with just a second to spare in Portland's game against the Magic. But all's well ends well for him, I guess. Next is Karl Anthony Towns, disappointing everyone, including himself, when he missed a wide-open layup. You don't get to have an epic nickname like Special K if you're not a lousy shooter, and of course, KAT knows that. That's why he's trying his best in offense as well as defense. But this time, Towns decided to get fancy by trying a Euro step layup against the Clippers and came up miserably short. If he was able to toss it in, the Timberwolves would have been one possession away from the Clippers. Sadly, this ultimately resulted in a loss, which really teaches us that it's better to be safe than sorry. So if missing dunks was bad enough, getting dunked on is another experience altogether. That's exactly what happened to Warriors forward Kevin Durant when he played against the Lakers. KD got dunked on not once, not twice, but 3 times in a single half of a game. To add insult to injury, Durant had to endure all this while the retired Black Mamba watched from the sidelines. To be fair though, KD got his revenge on the Lakers as he finished the game with 36 solid points, including a jump shot with 6 seconds left in overtime to win the game for GSW. Something tells me fans won't let him forget about getting dunked on 3 times though. No player can go pro without learning the basics. So when an NBA star commits a serious basic error, expect the crowd to go wild. Russell Westbrook made this mistake when he walked 5 steps without dribbling the ball even once. The only time that he figured out something was wrong was when he heard the whistle and the jeering of the audience. But what possibly hurt the most is the disappointed looks thrown at him by his OKC family. I mean, seriously, Russ, what were you thinking? Some of the funniest memes then flooded the internet. As you know, NBA players mean business, and that means ruthless plays no matter how old or young you are in the industry. Mavericks rookie Luka Doncic had to learn this the hard way when he was given a taste of his own medicine by Brooklyn's Joe Harris. In the opening frame of Dallas versus Brooklyn, Harris delivered a solid ankle breaker against the rookie, leaving him feeling the pain of his fall. Doncic had to limp his way to the other side while facing a rowdy crowd after the shameful fall. Now, whether or not it was an actual ankle breaker, but Joe Harris was able to serve Luka a warm welcome to the NBA. Next, we take a look at Kawhi Leonard, who is an amazing basketball player, but a perfect pass from Kyle Anderson might have made him forget how to play basketball. Who can blame him, though? The pass looked too good to be true. It broke around Ryan Anderson's foot and hit Leonard in stride. That would have been a good opportunity for a layup. Maybe it was that good that even Kawhi got surprised that the ball suddenly was on his side. Next up, do you remember when Kemba Walker rolled his shoulders in victory? A little too early in the Hornets' win against the Heat, though? The funny part is, Kemba did wait an extra second to see if his shot was going in, but the second he started shimmying in, the rim spat out his shot. The entire arena groaned in pain as they witnessed Walker's walk of shame. We have a squat-in full moment when Donovan Mitchell set himself up for an alley-oop only to tragically fail. It was turning out to be an uneven season for Mitchell in 2019 as he tries to pull up his stats for his first All-Star matchup. While he did make the cut for season 19-20, his horribly botched-up solo play definitely stuck to the minds of everyone watching. Here to deliver another disappointment is Ben Simmons. The NBA always welcomes show-stopping plays and highlight moves because, after all, it makes for good viewing. There is one rule that all players must follow. This is especially true if the game is close to the end and you're neck and neck with your opponent, especially when you're at home. That's why when the basket rejected Ben Simmons' jam attempt, everyone cringed, including himself. This was certainly a waste since the Celtics won the game by just 1 point. Speaking of wasted chances, Andre Drummond is up next for launching 2 air balls from the free throw line. This mistake could be forgivable if the game had just begun, but when you're already in the final frame and you're tied up with the Bulls, every shot matters. Andre must have been really pressured during the match because he airballed 2 of his shots from the charity line. The announcers showed no mercy, though, as they proceeded to roast Drummond for his failure, saying it's like he's shooting a kettlebell instead. And for the last but not least, we have LeBron James committing a basic but crucial error, just like Westbrook. Just watch as the king himself picks up the ball, casually strolls for a few more steps, and then decides it might be a good idea to start dribbling like nothing happened. This all happened while the entire arena screamed to the referee to blow the whistle against LBJ for obviously traveling, but nothing happened. After the game, LeBron graciously owned up to his mistake, saying it was probably one of the worst things he has ever done in his career. He also felt sorry for the refs that most likely got cited for failing to notice that. So as you can see, some of our favorite athletes at times make mistakes and some are extremely embarrassing. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.